With OSRS getting regular weekly updates for 8 years now, the game has received a lot of new weapons and armor. Jagex has generally introduced niche items to avoid power creep, but items like the Toxic Blowpipe, Twisted Bow, and the Scythe have all undoubtedly increased the potential attacking power that your account can have. Well, today Jagex released a long statement about their stance on power creep, with information about potential upcoming changes that won't be polled to improve the game's overall health. Jagex recently did a player survey about power creep, and half of those in the survey said that power creep is something they feel exists in old school. Most of the players felt like power creep isn't a major problem in the game right now, but over 50% of them thought that the long-term health of OSRS could be in jeopardy because of power creep. With that survey, Jagex finished it with a proposal to tweak the stats and effects of powerful equipment, and over half of those in the survey supported the proposal and thought it was necessary, and also over half felt like the proposal should be polled. So what changes is Jagex likely to make? Firstly, Jagex would like to adjust the wearing requirements for a range of high-level items to give more tiers to the weapons available. Like currently, the Trident of the Seas and the Trident of the Swamp both have a 75 magic level requirement, but the Swamp version is a fair bit more powerful. So these are the items that will be affected. The Garazi Rapier is proposed to have a level 80 attack requirement instead of 75. The Blade of Seldor will be the same, as well as the Inquisitor's Mace. Jagex would also like to increase the Scythe of Vita to an 85 attack requirement, which will give it the highest attack level requirement in the game. The last melee weapon they want to change is the Dragon Hunter Lance, increasing the attack from 70 to 78. They're proposing that the Trident of the Swamp gets a level 78 magic requirement instead of 75. They want the Sanguinesti Staff to have a level 82 requirement and the Kodai Wand to be level 80. They'd also like to increase them for the Nightmare Staves, and for the base staff, they'll make it 72 magic, and if any orb is attached, they'll increase it to 82 magic. For ranged weaponry, the only two weapons they want to change are the Dragon Hunter Crossbow and the Twisted Bow, bumping the Dragon Hunter Crossbow to 70 and the Twisted Bow to level 85. Now, aside from these requirements changes, Jagex agrees that some items are just too powerful and they need to be nerfed. Firstly, Jagex would like to nerf Dragonhide armor. They believe it offers too high defensive stats with very little negative attack bonuses. So they would like to lower the overall defense bonuses of all types of Dragonhide armor, so green through to black and including God D'hide as well. They're mainly looking to lower the melee defense bonuses. And for example, with the Black D'hide body, the melee defenses will be lowered by around 15 each, and the magic and range defense will be lowered by 5 each. Jagex would also like to nerf the Nader's Knot Face Guard because it's a little too powerful for the level that it's unlocked, so they'll lower the strength bonus from 6 to 5. The Twisted Bow is another item on the list, but Jagex says they're generally happy with how it is, so currently they're proposing only some small changes. Aside from increasing the range level requirement, they want to lower its prayer bonus down to 0, which really doesn't change the power that much. Jagex also wants to nerf the Din's Bulwark. They want to reduce the melee defense bonuses by 25%, so it'll be less effective with protecting from melee attacks. And they also want to add a negative 25 magic defense bonus to make it less effective on magic as well. The last big nerf that Jagex wants to introduce is for the Toxic Blowpipe. They say that when the Blowpipe was originally introduced, Jagex intended it to have an attack speed of 3, but because of an oversight, using Rapid Fire increased the speed to every 2 game ticks. So Jagex would now like to keep the speed the same, but they want to lower its overall power. So they'll decrease the ranged attack bonus from 60 down to 30, and the range strength bonus from 40 to 25. Also, Jagex would like to nerf the power of darts, overall decreasing the accuracy and strength of them by around 20% for each tier. So these are some pretty big nerfs to the Blowpipe. It's definitely going to be nowhere near as powerful as it is now, but most people can agree that the Blowpipe deals the highest damage per second in most scenarios. So after these changes, at Zulrah, the blowpipe will still be the best option for Zulrah's blue phase, unless you have a twisted bow. At Vorkarth, the blowpipe will no longer be best in slot for people without Dragon Hunter weaponry, so Dragon Hunter items will become the best. In the fight caves, melee will now be better than the blowpipe against higher defensed monsters, and this also goes for the Inferno, where the blowpipe won't be as good anymore. So those are the nerfs, but Jagex is also looking to introduce some buffs to items that have potential but currently are pretty obsolete. First, they want to buff the Crystal Bow's effect while you wear crystal armor. Currently, with full crystal armor and a crystal bow, there's a 15% damage boost. They'd like to increase that to 20% to make the set more viable. Jagex would like to buff the Dragon Bone and Bone Crusher necklaces, and these necklaces currently have very niche uses, where if you're wearing them and bury a bone, you restore some prayer points. Jagex would like to increase the base stats of these necklaces to one similar to an Amulet of Glory. They'd also like to reduce the prayer level requirement down to 70 and also remove the 9-second waiting time before the necklaces start to work. Warhammers have always been an item that no one uses, except for the Dragon Warhammer Special. Overall, Warhammers are pretty weak and slow attacking weapons, so Jagex is proposing to increase the strength bonuses of Warhammers up to Rune to make them almost as good as their battle axe counterparts. Maces, spears, and hasters all have similar attack bonuses to scimitars, so they're pretty powerful, but they all have slow attack speeds, which makes them pretty pointless when it comes to training combat. Jagex would like to increase the attack speed of bronze through to rune, maces, spears, and hasters by 1 game tick, which means they'll all match the speed of scimitars. They also want to increase the attack speed of the dragon mace to match scimitars as well. The last thing that Jagex wants to buff is the lighter metal armors, like chain bodies, med helms, and square shields. Currently, these lighter armors aren't viable options at all, and choosing the heavier option, like a full helm or kite shield, is far better overall. Jagex has identified that this is because heavy armor doesn't provide much negative attack bonuses, particularly with ranged. So Jagex would like to remove all negative ranged attack bonuses from med helms and square shields. And they'd also like to nerf the heavy metal armor, increasing the negative ranged attack bonuses by 50%. So to compare, for Pures, the Iron Med Helm will now provide a 0 ranged attack bonus, and the Full Helm will provide -3 instead of -2. So overall, Jagex is looking to increase the wearing requirements for a range of weapons, they're looking to slightly nerf some of the high tier weaponry, and they're also looking to buff some obsolete items to add more variety to the game. I personally don't see power creep to be a huge problem at the moment, although I can completely understand why Jagex is looking to make all of these changes now instead of later. A little bit of power creep is inevitable in my opinion, but it's a good thing to see that Jagex is being proactive before anything gets out of hand. So all of this won't be polled. Jagex's reason for not polling any of this is pretty simple. They think that a poll will likely fail and it would eventually be detrimental to the game's health. But Jagex would still love to hear feedback from the community. So what do you think about all these changes? Leave a comment down below. Anyways guys, if you enjoy these game update videos, be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you want to stay up to date with Old School. If you want to get a gaming mousepad, be sure to check out my merch store, linked down in the description. As always, thanks for watching and have a nice day.